Thank you for tuning in. This is your host, Brandy J, right here with Black in America. Thank you once again. And if you are tuning in, then you definitely are making a very wise choice. A very wise one, because right here on Black in America, we definitely hit on the issues of what it means and what it is to be Black in America. With Black in America, I like to take different people's experiences and stories and what they have felt to them, what it means to be Black in America, because not everybody has had the same experience at all whatsoever. But there is a broader picture that we can look at, that we can see, that is kind of like systemic, And I definitely want to touch on today is the education system, right? For me, being a person that went to school here in America, well, in the United States, put it like that, in the United States, in California, in San Diego, because it could be different in various states, right? But I know for me, my experience didn't really become broader to me until I became an adult, and then until I became a teacher within the schools. And I can definitely tell you, there is very much a issue, a problem. Number one, shouldn't education be equally the same across the board, the same intention to educate, to provide, to make sure that children get what they need, to be functional, skillful, and be able to get what they need, to have what they need, to do what they need, to become what they need, all across the board, right? There shouldn't be these levels of, if you're in a private or if you're in a certain community, that you get better than other schools. Or if you're a more of a predominantly non-Black school, then your chances of having a thriving education and experience and opportunities be better than someone that lives in a community which is probably not as, probably not as, what's the words that we're looking here for? Can we even find the words? Because community and your education, I guess, yeah, it should all come together. It should all go together. But at the end of the day, education is education, correct? So it doesn't matter what race you are and what part of the, world you're in, or what part of the neighborhood. If you're in a lesser, a poorer neighborhood, it really shouldn't matter, because if your school, the schooling and the system is under one board or education system, then that would tell you where the problem is thriving from. Because, for example, right here in San Diego, we have schools that people would say are the lesser than the communities, right? And you're not going to find a bunch of white children in those so-called communities or neighborhoods. They're going to be children of color or Hispanic or whatever it may be, right? Minorities, correct? There goes a problem there. But yet, those very schools still fall under the same education board, the same people, the same system that controls the rest of them, correct? Granted, we need parents to be more involved. That's right at the top of the list too. But yet, there's different reasons why not. You get the parents that are working various hours, maybe 2-3 jobs, to just hold it down and really don't have that time, correct? So it's a whole overall big system that works against one another, but we don't really call it for what it is. We see it as they want us to see it, which in reality, it all comes together, right? Because if we want our children to thrive and we want the parents to be more involved, then that would take a bigger look at how it's set up to where parents have to work all these hours and all these things. And then people say, well, you have to make sacrifices. And yes, you do. It's true. But how can we make it overall a better environment, a better functioning system for our youth so that they can get fully what they need, their family, time, their social, all those things matter, to where at the end of the day it ends up to where they're needing therapy or they're dealing with mental health issues. We don't touch on bullying the way it is. So it's way bigger than just being at a disadvantage. It means somewhere at the top, someone is not really sitting down and trying to break it down into these family values, and to where children have a healthy environment no matter where they're placed before they get to the part where they need therapy or they need a therapist or they're on medication or they have learning disabilities. Like, what is all that? What is a learning disability, and who is making these choices and these decisions? In this very episode here, I am just bringing about the very questions that we need to start asking, and even as Black people ourselves, and stop accepting these labels and saying that, yes, we are at a disadvantage. Are we? Or are we just not doing more and asking the right questions? Because if we're at a disadvantage, then whose job is it to change that? So we're definitely starting there with this episode here on Black in America, and whose job is it to get our children to where they need to be and give them the same opportunities so they can excel and succeed when it comes to this education system. So thank you for tuning in to Black in America and education within the Black community. Stay tuned, because this gets very interesting.